Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here, and today we're going to be howling at the moon, but we're also going to be cleverly trying to figure out a magic word. You put those two things together, werewolves and words, and you have Werewords, which is the hidden identity word game by Bezier Games. It's for 4 to 10 players, plays in 10 minutes, for ages 8 and up. Today, we'll be doing a rule school where I'll teach you how to set up and play the game so that you don't have to read the rulebook yourself. Now, I've placed timestamps below me in the description of this video just in case you want to jump to a specific section of the rules. Without further ado, let's get started. Werewords is the hidden identity word game for 4 to 10 players where everything revolves around a magic word for that round. Everyone will be asking the mayor yes or no questions as to what the magic word is, and they'll be given the answers as tokens. The seer also knows the magic word and is trying to guide the team to get it easier. But watch out because the werewolves are on the prowl, and if they can sniff out who the seer is, the werewolves will win in the end even if the magic word is guessed. But if the magic word isn't guessed, the village team can try to put an end to it by killing any of the werewolves. The game comes with a free, innovative app that you can download and quickly and easily set up the different roles, change difficulties, and change settings like music and narration. Let's see if you can guess the magic word as the villager team or detract them from it if you're the werewolf team. To set up your first game, you're going to find these 3 role cards. You're going to find the mayor, the seer, and the werewolf. You'll then add enough villager tiles so that the total amount of role tiles are the number of players playing plus 1. In this case, we're playing a 4-player game, so there's a total of 5 tiles there. You'll then shuffle face down all of those role cards and you'll deal 1 to each player. Since we use 1 more tile than the number of players, there'll be 1 tile in the middle of the table that belongs to no one. At this point, whoever has the mayor role will flip their card up. The mayor will then take the middle card and secretly look at it so no one else can see it. This is the mayor's secret role. There is a possibility that the mayor card is the one in the middle. If it's your first game of the night, simply reshuffle all the roles and redeal them out. If it's at least the second game, then whoever was left of the mayor from last turn will be the mayor. They'll take this tile in front of them, and the tile that was theirs is their secret role. Then the mayor is going to take the box with the insert in it to separate out the tokens. This will help facilitate giving out the tokens a little easier throughout the game. On this half, we have the tokens that are yeses, and on the other side of them, because they're double-sided, is no. Over here, we have the question marks, which are maybe, and exclamation point that is so close. This one says way, way off, and this one is correct. Next, you'll need to install the free Werewords app on your iOS or Android device. You can go to BezierGames.com to find the app quickly. The object of the game revolves all around a magic word. Each game, 1 of 2 words will be secretly selected, like son-in-law or fairy. Now, depending on the side you're on, you're either going to be trying to figure out this magic word or trying to keep everybody from figuring it out. Anybody with a secret role card that has a blue background is known as being on the villager team. Anybody that has a red background secret role is known to be on the werewolf team. The villager team is trying to get the magic word, and the werewolf team is trying to stop them from getting it. First, we'll make sure we're using the correct version of the app. It should look something like this. If you're not quite sure, on the bottom right there is a gear icon. You can press that. And up top, you'll see 3 versions. We're looking at the one in the middle there. And if it's not selected, you can go ahead and select it there in the middle and just say yes. It'll make sure that you're using this version of Werewords, and then you can click back. Now we'll finish setting up the app for the roles that we're using this game. Here we see highlighted the mayor, the seer, the werewolf, and 2 villagers, because those were the role tiles that we selected at the beginning of the game. If you ever want to deselect someone, you can just press on that player. So for example, let's say there's not a second villager. The one on the left will just tap and it will deselect. If we want to bring it back, we just tap it again and it will highlight. So now that we've got the right ones there, we're just going to go hit play at the bottom.
Everyone, close your eyes. Mayor, wake up and tap your secret role.
Now if you remember, the mayor has a secret role too. Let's assume it's villager, so that's what they tap here.
Mayor, choose a magic word.
Now the mayor will get to select which one of these two words they want as the magic word. In this case, they choose kitchen.
Mayor, here is your magic word.
You'll now place the device in the center of the table and confirm the magic word.
Mayor, close your eyes. Seer, wake up and view the magic word.
So now only the seer is viewing the magic word.
Seer, close your eyes. Werewolf, wake up and view the magic word.
And now only the werewolf is viewing the magic word.
Werewolf, close your eyes. Everyone, wake up. You now have 4 minutes to figure out the magic word.
Now this is the main part of the game where you have 4 minutes to try to figure out what that magic word is. And now during this 4 minutes, everyone in any order is asking the mayor questions that have a yes or no answer. Like someone might say, is it a noun? And the mayor might say, well, yes, it is. And they'd place this yes in front of that player. Is it a living thing? Then someone says that and they put the no in front of them. If they're not sure, they can give maybe, for example. Now, one of 3 things is going to happen. Either someone is going to actually guess the magic word correctly, or the mayor is going to run out of all of the yes and no tokens, or the time is going to run out. Let's go over all of those.
Time is up. Oh no! You ran out of time. Everyone, you now have 1 minute to find the werewolf.
So now you have 1 minute for everyone to talk about who is the werewolf, who is the one that was trying to throw people off. And so everyone's going to be able to vote at the end of this time, and as long as the majority of the people are pointing at the werewolf has died and the villager team will win in the end.
Time is up. Everyone, 3, 2, 1, vote.
Now let's say it looks something like this. Now, even though there's only 3 people asking questions to the mayor, there probably would have been more tokens in here, but let's just assume the pattern looks something like this. We have this player that had a couple of maybes, lots of no's. Was that the werewolf trying to throw us off? This one looked really good, lots of yeses, and this player didn't do much. Maybe they were trying to wait towards the end and then just give one good answer to look good. Well, let's say the majority of people vote at this player. This player would flip over their tile, and if it is the werewolf, well, the villager team would win instead. If it was not the werewolf, then the werewolf team would win. Now, if the people asked enough questions that the mayor ran out of tokens, you'll press that one on the top left that looks like 8 tokens with a line through it.
You ran out of tokens. Everyone, you now have 1 minute to find the werewolf.
So once again, just like if you had run out of time, the werewolf is going to win unless the majority of the people are going to vote for a werewolf. And just like everyone else, the werewolf will be voting too, and during these votes, nobody ever shows anybody their role. Now let's say somebody gets the word correct. You'd press the correct button up the top right.
Congratulations! You discovered the magic word. Werewolf, turn your card face up. You now have 15 seconds to find the seer.
So now the werewolf is going to try to guess who was the seer, who was the person that seemed to know the most, who was the one that was guiding people to the answer. And then the werewolf is going to vote by pointing at that person.
Time is up. Werewolf, 3, 2, 1, vote.
So let's say we had a similar pattern to before, but since the magic word was found, the werewolf has flipped over their tile, and the werewolf's trying to figure out who was the seer, who was the one that seemed to know the most that was guiding them to the magic word. Is it this one with all the yeses, but a no? Or was it this one where that one yes really was the kicker and got us down the right path? Well, let's say they pick this one. This player would flip it over. Well, it's a villager. It was not the seer, so the village team would win anyway. But instead of doing this, if that player had selected here and indeed found the seer, then the werewolf would win. Now, what if the mayor wasn't a villager? What if the mayor was a seer? Well, if in that case, it will sometimes give the mayor an easier word since there's no seer out there to help guide the team. Now, if the mayor is actually the werewolf, since there's no werewolf out there, it'll sometimes give him a slightly harder word. And if the mayor is a werewolf, they can mislead with the answers they're giving, the yeses and nos, and they can actually lie about yes and nos to try to throw people off, but they've got to do it cunningly, or else when it comes time to vote for the werewolf, they might actually point at the mayor. Now, if you're playing with more than 4 players, you may want to mix in some additional roles. There's a second werewolf you can use, and when there's 2 werewolves, during the day phase when they're looking at the magic word, they also get to look at each other so they know who each other are. And then, if the magic word gets found by the village team and it's time for the werewolves to vote, they can talk amongst themselves, and they can also vote for different players. If either of the player from the 2 werewolves that have been voted on is the seer, then the werewolves will win. If the magic word is not guessed correctly, if either of the werewolves have the majority of the vote, the villager team will win. Now, when setting up the app, you see on the bottom there it says Easy Words. That's a great place to start for your first few games. And then once you get the knack for asking questions, you can just tap right where it says Easy Words, and you go to Medium Words, which are a little bit harder. And if you've got really smart literate group, then move to Hard. And then if you want some crazy challenge, then go to Ridiculous, where there's many words that many people probably have never even heard of. Now on the bottom right, the gear there, I'm going to show you word lists. The third section down says word lists. You can click edit. And there's 3 sections here. The built-in list shows you the ones built into the actual app. The default is there selected, but you can select specific lists like celebrities or food or literature, monsters, 80s, TV, video games. Now if I go back, there's custom lists, and this is where you could actually create a list name, and you could actually even type in the words that you want in those specific lists. But there's also community lists you can select there from the bottom. And it actually goes online. It looks at different lists that many people around the community have uploaded. So you can also search, or you can filter for language or category or difficulty and things like that. Well, I hope this helped you dive right into Werewords and get to the fun quicker than you normally would if you had to read the rulebook yourself. Now, if you have further questions about the rules, I've placed a link below me in the description of this video, and that's the best place to ask them because not only will I be notified, but so will Bezier Games.